So first of all, if you loved this game, love it. Love it. If you love this game, no matter what, love the things you love. Fuck the haters, love the things that you love.
We want to be where y'all are. We want so much to also love this no matter what. We're like begging to feel that way too, but it's like, and we'll get into that a little bit.
Yeah. Dragon Age is gay as shit. It is woke as shit. It always has been, okay?
It always has been.
Like, literally fucking always.
And it has always gotten backlash. Like, since Origins, there were several articles that came out that was damning Origins because you got to have all kinds of gay sex.
All kinds of
specifically
gay
naming
sex.
Zevran.
Gay as fuck. Gay as fuck. And the beef with this game is that the very last Dragon Age game literally ignores everything that happened in 3 previous games. And that is not what I expect.
Serious things that happen too.
That is not. That's bad.
It's bad.
It's very, very unsatisfying because what weight does Rook have?
What's up? Let me turn this down before.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. This my nug. This how much we got. I got fucking stuffed animals and shit. I got my fucking Veilguard stab and shit.
We also have a Dorian plushie somewhere.
We got Dorian. He's in. You got to put him up. I think he's still in your box. Anyway, all right. What's up, y'all? I am Crystal. That is my lovely partner, Hannah. We are 2 fucking Dragon Age nerds, and we're going to talk about Dragon Age Veilguard tonight. And I'm going to fix my screen because it's driving me crazy. But anyway, so here's how we're going to break this down for y'all tonight. So we're going to give a quick introduction about who we are and why we love Dragon Age. We're going to do a super quick, spoiler-free, like 2-3 sentences. Should you get this game? Should you play this game? Where this game ranks in Dragon Age for us. Then we're going to talk about why we loved Veilguard. Then we're going to talk about why we want to kick Veilguard in the ass. So this is going to be, off a cliff. This is going to be spoiler heavy, except like the first, let's try to keep our little rating spoiler free. Yeah. But then after that, spoilery as fuck, you beat if you didn't play it. Okay.
You gotta go.
You gotta go.
I'll tell you after.
Yeah, unless you don't give a fuck about being spoiled. So babe, why don't you go first? Introduce yourself. Tell everybody why you love Dragon Age and what is your Dragon Age ranking? Just go.
Well, I'm Pissel. I'm the Tales sound designer and co-owner. I do language shit. I fucking love Dragon Age. I love Dragon Age since 2009, all the way back to Origins. It was probably the first, because I did play games up until then, but like Origins was the first big, heavy RPG I've ever played, and I fucking loved everything about it.
Let's go. I'm actually gonna close my door too. Hang on. You keep talking.
Ever since it fucking released. Am I speaking too loud? Am I echoing?
Yeah, it's fine. No, it's fine. Be loud. You're like never loud about anything. Like Pixel, like I'm the extrovert. Pixel's the introvert. So when Pixel gets loud about something, like it's about to go down because Pixel is never loud.
I haven't had my independence from Dragon Age since 2009. It's been a long time.
Let's do it.
After that, I bought books, read some of the comments, I stayed up until 4 a.m. several times reading Wikipedias just to get lore and shit.
Pixel is that person that could like quote the Chant of Light and like, she's that level of nerd. Like that's the
Not
level
all of it, just some
right. That's the level of Dragon Age nerd that Pixel is. Yeah. So what was the first? So you started with Origins, right, and then just went through. Tell everybody,
just as they released.
Tell everybody who you romanced throughout all the games, because we know what Dragon Age nerds want.
So my first playthrough of Origins, and I'll try to keep it like I mean, Origin's been out for almost 20 fucking years, so it's fine. I'm gonna turn that down because it's so loud, it's distracting me. But Origins, I played as the city elf Origin, and then I romanced Alistair, and then I hardened him, and then decided to make him king. If you know, you know.
Mhm.
And then Dragon Age 2 comes along.
Mhm.
I romance Anders. If you know, you know.
She's got the worst taste in fictional men, y'all. The worst. So we went from Alistair as a city elf to Anders in Dragon Age 2.
And I'll get into more spoilery
Yeah.
of my Greek tragedy. I'll get into more spoilers about the whole you know when we get past the non-spoiler things because I want to be respectful of other people who want to play, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Inquisition comes along, and then Solas, if you know, you know. And Veilguard, if you know, you know.
And then, yeah, and who did you romance in Veilguard?
Harding.
Babe's love
I romance
life
Harding.
in Dragon Age is just like a fucking tragedy across the board. So you went Alistair as an elf, hardened to be king, Anders in Dragon Age 2, Solas in Inquisition, Harding in Veilguard. Okay.
And because this is a choice that you get to make, for me, Anders did die in Dragon Age 2. So it's just, yeah, it's great.
Damn. Okay, so
And then I led a friend to romance Solas and Inquisition as well, so they could meet me in tragedy. But they don't even get to complain because in their first playthrough they romanced Zevran in Origins, so they had a happy ending. So I want your shit out of them.
well, she said you had oh my god. Okay, so my level of Dragon Age nerd is not quite as high as Pixels. I can't like quote the Chant of Light, and I couldn't like quote like lore off the back of my fucking hand.
You can't tell me Canary titles and shit.
I could not. I'm so sorry. But I fucking loved Inquisition was the first game I played, and it was the first BioWare game I played, and it was the first game like that, and I fucking loved it so much. I loved it so much.
Inquisition's awesome.
So good. Like sucked me right into BioWare's bullshit. And then like from Dragon Age, I went into Mass Effect, so loved it. Made audio. I'm going to make a Dragon Age Inquisition audio drama. I wrote Dragon Age fanfic. I romanced. Okay, so when I went back and played Origins and Dragon Age 2, I romanced Liliana in Origins, and of course I made the right choice. My Liliana's alive. I romanced Isabella in Dragon Age 2. And in Inquisition, I don't really have a canon romance because everybody in Inquisition is hot and can get it for free, except like Blackwall and Solas, because I don't like either of them. But I hate Solas with a passion. And Blackwall, I'm kind of just like meh about. So like my Dragon Age Inquisition.
Hey, Bill, that was pretty fun.
Yeah. I like always ride the bull. I love Cassandra. I love Cullen. I love Joe's. Like, I just love everybody in Inquisition except Solas. So that, and then in Veilguard, I romanced through Canis. I did not think I was gonna romance through Canis, but then I met him, and I was like, you can also get it for free. Like, you don't even have to buy me dinner. So that's who I romanced in all the games. That's everybody that I loved. Okay. Babe, where does Veilguard, give me like a 2 to 3 sentence spoiler-free review of Veilguard, and where does it rank for you in all the Dragon Age games?
I'm thinking. I would say Veilguard is like a really you know what? Veilguard is a bubbly adventure if you're looking for like a fantasy game to like sit back and relax and just be quirkified. It has many quirks. It's fun. Gameplay is great. I highly recommend if you want a fun time.
Okay. Where does it rank for you as far as like Dragon Age games go?
4.
4th. So it's last on the list for you.
For me it goes.
Yeah, go ahead. Rank them.
Yeah, for me it goes from bottom to top would be like Veilguard, 2, Veilguard 2, Origins, Inquisition.
In the number 1 spot for you.
Yeah.
Nice.
Origins would be to third place.
Got it. So I would rank these for me. It's so my spoiler-free review of Veilguard would be: this is very fun to play. The story is fun. The cinematics are fucking incredible. I play games on easy. I had a blast with combat. I loved all these companions. I would say play this game. Let me put it this. Okay, I got 2. If you have never played a Dragon Age game before, play this game. Absolutely. I think if you have never played a Dragon Age game before, it's not the Dragon Age game that I would tell you to start with, but maybe yes, because of things we'll talk about later. So if you're just like, I want to play the newest Dragon Age game first, sure, play it. If you're not a Dragon Age fan and you just want a fun kind of RPG video game to play, like you're coming off of Baldur's Gate 3 and you're looking for something to kind of scratch the itch, this will do it. Play it, absolutely. I think if you are a Dragon Age fan and you are all about choices, you might be disappointed. I think this game might disappoint you. So for like new people or people who just want a fun RPG, yes. If you are a diehard Dragon Ager, and then maybe wait till it's on sale and then get it. I think it should be played. I think it's a good game and I think it should be played. I think your enjoyment of it is going to depend on things. But me and Pixel might be in the minority. So I don't know. So let's get into it. Babe, let's talk about all the stuff about Dragon Age Veilguard that makes us love this game so much. Let's just love on it first, right? Let's give it all the love in the world. So you start. Tell me everything you loved about your playthrough of Dragon Age Veilguard.
I feel like we're both gonna open with the same thing where it's fucking beautiful.
This game is so pretty.
It's so beautiful.
Oh,
I'm constantly
my
stopping to look
fuck.
at views, just looking at everything. I always want to explore when I'm playing. It's just so gorgeous.
It's so fucking pretty.
Gameplay is really user-friendly. Whenever I get around to doing a second playthrough, I'm going to try it on controller because first time through I did mouse and key, and that was perfectly fine. Worked really good. I think that's actually the first Dragon Age I played first time through on mouse and key because all the rest of them were on a controller.
Nice.
Yeah, after graphics, like I just want to give so much love to the companions and how they handled them because I adored being in the lighthouse when you come home from a mission or something, and they're not in their designated spaces. They're like random places in the lighthouse talking to each other. It's so cute. It's that's like a beautiful detail I feel like is missing from all the rest of the Dragon Age games that they did right, and it makes them feel more real, I guess, just more realistic in how they'll move around the lighthouse. It's really nice.
Absolutely.
And sound effects are great.
That soundtrack was banging.
Yeah.
I loved the soundtrack too. Yeah. Things I liked, the cinematics in Veilguard are fucking fire.
Particularly Weishaupt. You know.
Oh my god, that fight in Weishaupt, man, that had me ready to go. That was like, so when I played Inquisition, right? It was like my first experience is having like video game cinematics like that, right? So when Haven gets attacked, I was like, what the
That's great.
fuck? Right. Like you wanted to go back to that moment, that like crack, right? That you got from that. It was so good. And then I got it again. Like this game made me cry twice too. I cried. Yeah, I cried. I don't think it was Weishaupt. I think it was the battle after that, where you got to go after the dragons again. We're going to a little spoilery. And for me, it was Viago who showed up. Like, first, I thought we was about to take another L. and I was
Mhm.
upsetty spaghetti. I don't know if my mental health
You
was
were.
just trash that day, but I was so fucking upset. I was like, oh my God, we're gonna lose again. No fucking way. Like, I was just upset. And then fucking Viago shows up with those bro, I was so fucking hype. I was so hype. I was like, what the? We were like, me and Pixel were in Discord together, like, I'm fucking crying, I can't talk, and then Viago shows up. And then that shit that happened with my boy Manfred fucked me up.
Mhm.
Fucked me up. I was so upsetty spaghetti about Manfred, bro. Especially because my little dude, like, he had his moment. I was mad.
It was so cute.
It was so cute. I
He was
love
so brave the whole time.
the whole time. I was like, because I love the Companions and Inquisition so much. Like, I was hella scared about Veilguard. I was like, am I even going to give a fuck about these people? Should not have been worried. I loved all these Companions. I loved them all. They were great. I loved that they moved around. I loved that their storylines were so beautiful.
And they progress really nicely too.
They do progress really nicely. As far as like the game in general, like Pixel said, it's fucking gorgeous. It's so fucking pretty. It's very fun to play. Like I play games on easy, so I play games for like storyline. I could give a fuck about combat. Like 9 times out of 10, like I'm not even looking at my armor. I don't give a fuck about no skill points. Like I'm literally playing a video game to immerse myself in the story and just murder shit, right? Like that's why I play video games. But this combat was so fun. I found myself even bringing up that combo screen because I'm trying to get people to do combos and shit just because it looks so fucking cool. Like that was great.
And you have button combos that you can do. You
Right.
had a bunch as a mage out there.
Yeah. You did. I had combos that linked with that shit was fun as fuck. I love everybody like cheering you on in combat. Some people didn't like that. I thought that was great. I love that. I don't know
their
which
voice
drama
lines
is.
will change depending on if you've romanced them when they cheer you on.
Yes, I noticed that. So that's good.
Mhm.
That was cool. What else can I talk about that I loved? I loved that side quests were so important in this game. Like there was some side quest. Like if you speed run this, I don't know, bro. I don't know. You're not getting the good ending. There's no way you speed run this and get the good ending.
The side quests, the companion quests, if you're speedrunning and ignoring all that shit, you're gonna get the shittiest ending possible.
Right. Like there were side quests and I was like, wait, you don't have to do this? Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, that's so important. Yeah. Some of the lore that got dropped was fucking amazing. I loved Harding's story. I loved the Darvin story. Am I saying his name right? Darvin story and Asan Davrin story and Asan. Oh my god, that was so great. There were parts of it that felt Mass Effect 2, and some of the choices I liked. Some I didn't. We'll get into that. But some I really liked. Like I liked at the end how you had to assign a companion to do stuff. And Pixel and I had different choices that had like she picked a different person and she had some people that die. I didn't lose nobody. Yeah. Shout out Mass Effect 2 prepped me.
Good job.
I did not lose a motherfucker at the end. Everybody lived. It was great. I like the recaps. As somebody who has ADHD and forgets things easily, I think that was a really nice accessibility feature. I like that it recapped shit for me at the end of Quest. I thought that was great. What else did I really like?
I also really liked getting the missives.
Yes.
You kind of get them too in Inquisition through the war table, but I liked just occasionally getting the hate mail from a demon that you
that hate mail from that demon was fucking amazing. Yo, he was so mad. I love that he sent us hate mail. I want to get it framed.
Also, such a tiny thing to praise is they handled codex entries a bit differently in Veilguard, where they're not giving you a block of text to read. I'll read those anyway, but they'll present them as like your characters like writing notes back and forth. Your companions writing notes back and forth, and that's how you get the lore is reading their back and forths on the codex entries.
The book club and like the fucking Dragon Age equivalent of them like texting each other. Come on, that shit was so good. The lighthouse was beautiful. I love how well it ran. I love how well this game ran. So shout out to all that whole team that made it run as smoothly as it did. Holy shit. I love that I run into no problems. Like I had no problems. None. It runs beautifully. So overall, I really enjoy Veilguard as a video game and as an RPG. I have to, when I talk about my enjoyment of Veilguard and how much I love it, I have to kind of disassociate it from the Dragon Age universe. So my love of it is like great video game, runs well, beautiful, fun combat. I got like some beef with the romance. I did romance through Canis. I did love it. I love him. He's great. He's just like a little assassin teddy bear, bro. I loved all my outfits. I love that character creator. No, everybody loves that character creator. I don't even think we have to mention it. Everybody knows that character creator is fucking fire. It's so good. We looked good that whole game. I was changing outfits for every mission. I was like, hold up.
Voice acting was great.
Voice acting was phenomenal. Everybody, yes. And Pixel and I picked 2 different voices for the Inquisitor as well. Both of them, chef's kiss, so good. All the voice actors for the companions, chef's kiss. There was not one companion I did not like. I don't know if that's a good thing, but there was not one companion that was like, I'll fuck with you. I was kind of, and I know that this chick I'll follow who's like Emmerich's like wife, and I love that for them. Emmerich was like the only character I was kind of like ambivalent about. Like I love Manfred. I love Manfred. Don't get me wrong. Like love him. Like I love.
He was nice.
Yeah, he was nice. He's nice. Like I don't dislike him. But he was the only one that I was kind of just like, okay, like you're here, you're cool, that's fine. I think. Is there anything else you want to talk about, babe, that you absolutely loved about this game?
Small thing. I love that you let us glamour things. So if I don't like how my armor looks, but it has the best stats, and let me put something over it, all games just need to do this now.
All games need to do this now.
It's so nice to just wear your favorite thing over whatever. And you could do this with the companions too. You can change their outfits to whatever you wanted.
Love that.
Same with your weapons as well. You can glamour your weapons too.
Oh my God, that was so nice. And
I didn't wear the hats because my hair.
Right. I didn't wear no hat either because my hair, bro. My hair was fly as fuck. What? Come on. I'm like, I don't even like long hair. Like me and Pixel are short hair girlies. But listen, I picked the longest hair, and immediately I was just like, I whip my hair back and forth. That's all I was doing. But yeah, as a video game itself, it's just as a video game, it's a great video game. It's a great video game. It's a great video game. It's a great RPG. It's fun as fuck. You know, if you just want a RPG to play, you want to romance some people, you want to have really fun combat, you want to just exist in a beautiful world that will probably run good no matter what PC you got, get that shit. Get Dragon Age Veilguard. It deserves it. It deserves it. Okay. So I think now we're going to run into why we have beef with Veilguard. And this might be the longest section. This might be the longest section. So first the fuck of all, Dragon Age is gay as shit. It is woke as shit. It always has been, okay?
It always has been.
Like, literally fucking always.
And it has always gotten backlash. Like, since Origins, there were several articles that came out that was damning Origins because you got to have all kinds of gay sex.
All kinds of gay
specifically naming
sex.
Zephyrin.
Gay as fuck. Gay as fuck.
And the Pearl even got mentioned in that article. Oh my god,
Pearl.
it got so much hate.
I
also miss the Pearl.
I miss being able to just go in and get me some hoes, like lined up by a buffet in a Dragon Age game. I do. I miss that. I'm not even gonna lie.
You get, like different hoes too.
I know.
Like when you wake up in your room, there'll be some like weird items in there. Like one time there's like a big ass hammer in your bedroom. Another time there's a nug, and I'm just like,
the fuck was I doing with a nug, bro?
I don't know.
I love it. I love that.
They don't tell you. It's your own imagination.
I love that. But yeah, so if your beef with Dragon Age is literally like women and they thems and gay sex, shut up. Just fucking shut up. Like, tell me you never played it. Just fuck off, please, all the way into a volcano.
Also, Also, elves are allowed to be black.
Right.
Okay.
Like, what are y'all?
Okay.
Why is this even still a conversation? Anyway, so if that's why you don't like Dragon Age, you can't sit at nobody's table. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, go away. Go away. Just go the fuck away. That is not why we do not. Our beef. My camera's fucked up. Our beef with Dragon Age has absolutely nothing. Hang on, I'm trying to fix my camera. Come on, camera.
Your camera's also
I know.
displeased.
My camera is also displeased. Our beef with Dragon Age has nothing to do with it being gay and woke. That's like our favorite parts of Dragon Age. It's gay and it's
Yeah.
woke. Like that's why. And I was saying this to Pixel earlier. I think that like, so first of all, if you loved this game, love it. Love it.
Mhm.
If you love this game, no
Yes.
matter what, love the things you love. Fuck the haters. You know, love the things that you love. But I think what's happening. Go ahead, babe.
As you listen to this review, you'll find that like we love so many things about it, and we had a great time playing it. It's like how to word this. It's like we want to be where y'all are. We want so much to also love this no matter what. We're like begging to feel that way too, but it's like, and we'll get into that a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this climate makes it hard to have genuine like conversations about games and critique them now, right? Because the games that we love are becoming under fire so much by like this loud minority that I wish would just fuck off and go to therapy. It's hard to critique games because if I say I don't like Dragon Age Veilguard, then people would immediately like it's almost like you make an assumption before you even listen to maybe why I don't like Dragon Age Veilguard, right? So I feel like, and also we are protective over these games because we know and we love them, and our beef with them is not Tasha's story, right? Tasha's story is fucking beautiful. Oh my God, I love that they put that in.
That shit too.
It done, and I fucking love Taj. Like, I'll fuck somebody up over Taj. Do not play with me. So like these beautiful stories that are being told in these games, like that's not our problem. So it's you feel bad critiquing it when so many people are bad mouthing this game because of their bullshit, right? So it's hard, but at the same time, like Pixel said, I want to be at the table where everybody just is loving the fuck out of this game to the the way we loved Inquisition, because like there is just something about Dragon Age that I really resonate with in kind of the same way like Star Wars pulls me in and like Star Trek pulls Pixel in. Like, because like I want to play Veilguard again. Like I really do, but also the things about it piss me off so much. It's coloring my enjoyment, which is making me not want to play Veilguard again, right? Like to the point, like I still need to finish Baldur's Gate 3. Shout out to Lauren. We're going to talk about them a little bit too as we talk about this. Like, but I don't want to play Baldur's Gate as much as I want to play Dragon Age, right? And it's just something about Dragon Age, but there is no new Dragon Age for me to play because Veilguard has made me sad. And that makes me sad. Yeah. So now I'm just left in a pool of disappointment and emotional dysregulation. You know, like that's kind of where I'm at. So, and go ahead, babe.
No, I'll say that one. Okay. I'll say that one for later.
Yeah. So let's just address the elephant in the room and let's just fucking talk about Solas. Let's just talk about it. So Hannah came into this as a Solomancer, right? And I came into this making fun of her being a Solomancer because I could not stand.
I was. Yeah. Key word here was.
Yeah.
A diehard Solomancer forever. When Trespasser came out and you get that scene with him, especially that dialogue where you get to be real aggressive with him, I was feral. I was down bad. I loved that shit. After it was done, I'm clawing at my desk, begging for more the whole time. I'm reading fanfics.
So that's how much Pixel loves some Solas, okay? I hate that motherfucker. I hate that motherfucker. Like, even in Inquisition, when that shit comes at the end, like, I remember when I finished it, like, I got rid of him as soon as I could, right? I could not stand his ass. And then, like, when that shit, I was like, where the fuck is Solas? And then I find out, I was like, see? And then in Trespasser, I'm like, no, fuck you and your nonsense. You fucking crazy, bro. Like, fuck, sorry, excuse me. You insane, motherfucker. Fuck out of here. So I hate Solas. I cannot stand this motherfucker. And I love hating him, right? He is like that character in literature that you just, that is so well written, right? You just love to hate.
That you love to hate, yeah.
You just, so that's that for me. And like Pixel loved him. And like, listen to me. I wanted Solamancers to get their ending, and I wanted to get my ending, right? I wanted y'all to have whatever the fuck that looked like for you, and I wanted to be able to slit this motherfucker's throat at the end, right? But even I, who got the ending I wanted, am left disappointed because what the fuck?
And I'm gonna come in here real aggressive, like. Soul of Elens, we need to have a talk. We need to have a big talk because we waited, and I'm so happy that all of you are happy with that ending. And I'm gonna be real disrespectful here right now, and I'm like, what is this pick me attitude now? That is not what I waited 10 years for. Fuck that entire thing, and I want to rewrite. Because he does not pick you in the end. He does not. Your Inquisitor is just there. That's it.
That's why.
That you could pluck them out of this game and nothing changes.
And
I'm mad. Go ahead.
I'm mad I'm mad for y'all. Like, because listen, me and Pixel love toxic romances. My, like, Wanda all day. Wanda like fucking putting the whole town to sleep so she can live out her fantasies with Vision and her kids. That's
shit.
Bro, that's the kind of toxic shit I will stand for till I die. You cannot say a bad thing about Wanda to me. I don't give a fuck. I do not give a fuck.
I even ship Hannibal and Will. Like,
right. That's so toxic. That's so toxic. Like, Joel and Ellie, come on. Who done pick Ellie? Joel was like, fuck the whole world. I'ma kill everybody in this hospital. You is not killing my daughter. Like, that's the kind of fucking toxic shit.
That's the kind of love that we want.
Right. That's the kind of toxic shit that I ship, right? That's right. But like, okay, let's talk about Varric. Okay.
That's the other elephant in the room.
Let's just assume that I had romance Solas, okay? And I'm going to talk about why I'm also dissatisfied with my ending, but we're going to get there. Let's just talk about how if I had a romance Solas, right? Let's say I romance Solas, okay? And then we get to the part where you find out that Varric is dead. And we need to talk about that as well, because holy shit, okay? What? That would be such a... Bro, he kills your friend. That is your, unless you don't, like, if you don't like Varric for whatever reason, if you just don't like Varric,
you're not a real fan.
like, maybe you don't care. Like,
I'm
maybe,
really aggressive
right. Like, if you just don't like Varric, then but like, you, like, so let's say me and Hannah broke up, right? Because Hannah is on some bullshit about how she's just gonna destroy the world for whatever, right? And I can't get through to her.
Not people.
Right, right? She's got her head up her ass. I've been trying for like 10 years to get through to her, right? And she is not listening to me at all. I'm still trying because I love her so much. And listen, I'll burn down the whole world for Hannah. I don't give a fuck. So we gotta be really beefing for this. Let's just assume this is an error, right? But then Hannah, in my efforts to, like, you know, it's been 10 years now, 10 fucking years, mind you. And then I find out she has murdered one of my best friends. That's a wrap for me, dog. Like, that's...
Done. It's over.
And you don't even say you're sorry. You don't even, like, at no point, like, do you apologize. This man literally kills people and goes, I have regrets. What? And yo, that end, I don't understand. Like, I understand, like, you've been waiting so long and you love Solas so much, so you don't care what ending you get. But I am mad for y'all because, like, I obviously did not pick to save Solas. Hi, Leaf. I did not pick to save him. But I watched the YouTube video because I finished the game before Hannah and I wanted to prep her because she was so disappointed about some things, right? And I watched that. Your Inquisitor rolls up, right? After your Rook is all nice to him and is trying to be like, hey, maybe do the right thing, right? And then fucking your Inquisitor rolls up and is like, hey, I'm somebody you wronged. How about, you do this not just for me, but also because it's the right thing to do, right? So now you've got your Inquisitor, the romance choice, rolling up and being like, hey, make the right choice. Why this motherfucker look you dead in your face and still says no? And then, so hold up.
I have so much boiling in my soul right now.
So he ain't pick you. He fucking 10 years killed your friend and then still said no. I'm gonna do what I want to do. I don't give a fuck about you. Still does not give a fuck about you. And then Miss Thal comes out and now finally she's like, okay, baby, I know that I used you and I'm sorry I used you and it really wasn't your fault. Talking to him real nice, like he 5, so I release you from my service. It's okay. And now he's ready to do the right thing. So after waiting for 10 years for a conclusion to this, you don't get to yell at him. Y'all don't get you don't get no fights. You don't get no angry sex. You don't get no passion. You just get some, like Hannah says, some pick me energy where he don't even pick you. And then at the end, he still ain't picked you. He gonna do the right thing. And you offer to go live with this basic bitch. Why do y'all like him?
You know what? I wish I could be all of those fucking romancers that love this ending, but all I can look at is like, what have you given me? You've given me absolutely nothing. And I remember when we got that gameplay trailer, that gameplay trailer was fantastic, right? But when we got that gameplay trailer, I remember seeing that infamous scene where fucking Bianca gets destroyed, right? And I'm like, there's no way. They're not going to have him kill the father of Dragon Age, and we're going to be fine with this. Fast forward to the end, and it's really fucked up. They don't tell you until the fucking end as well. And I'm just like, how is this not a deal breaker? How can you see this and not be fucked up? Like, I waited 10 years for this closure, and you're telling me he did this. You fucked the dwarves. Let's talk about that. You fucked everything. You caused the blight, and now you go and kill Varric. You just keep going and taking and taking and taking, and you're not giving me anything in return. It would be... I'm so mad. I'm so fucking mad. But you could have like given us something. Like you could have like, hey, saved Harding, because there was this whole beautiful dialogue where you figure out Harding's backstory and the history with the Titans and the dwarves, right?
Oh, that's so good. That whole
and
history
she was
is so
like,
good.
And she was talking like, Solas passed by me every day for like years, and he never said a goddamn thing to me, and I want him to look me in the eyes and apologize, right? She said that. That was some metal shit, bro. Her VA did an amazing job, right? You could have had an incredible moment where, as an apology, he could have saved Harding, but you didn't.
Hi, JV.
Hi, JV.
Oh.
You're so angry, man. So angry. That's my hot take from our chat, is I'm an angry Solas mancer now, and I am fucking dead inside.
I really got like 5 minutes, but I had to jump in because I had to give you my Solas thing. It just my take on the game overall. So
I need this.
They do a lot of rehabbing Solas, like going into the backstory.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate that from a storytelling standpoint, right? You kind of want your villain to have a reason / motivation, and his motivation was just like he was willing to follow his homie to the earth.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was just willing to do that.
Right.
Here's the thing. That's great. That's great. I get it. You know, stick by your homeboys. You know, if Pixel was like, yo, you gotta roll with me to fuck somebody up. Okay, I'm down. Right? We good. We crew. But if she was like, if Pixel was like, hey, yo, we gotta fuck this person up, but it's gonna end the whole world.
Right.
Then it's like, I don't know. What. You know, if you told me you're like, yeah, you know, me, you, Crystal, Dev, everybody, Matthew, everybody, we gotta go fuck these people up.
Mm-hmm.
But if we do, billions of people are gonna die. There's gotta be a workaround, right? There's gotta be a workaround. I think part of the problem is that, like, when you get to the end,
mm-hmm.
right? In my ending, essentially you convince him to kind of sacrifice himself to a degree.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You telling me this nigga could do that the whole time?
Yeah, pretty much could.
The whole time.
Mm-hmm. Had other ways to do this the whole time. And the thing about it that killed me is he was like very chill about it. He was like, okay. I see your point. Nigga, why are you doing this? You did this the whole time, bro. Like, I thought it was gonna be like, oh yeah, we're gonna have to fight. I'm really gonna have to convince him. It was just like a couple sentences. Shit, that makes sense, Rook. Let's do that. Man, do you know how many people die?
So many.
What are you doing?
And you know what? And here's my thing with him too. Like, because I don't fuck with Solas in no kind of way. There's a couple of things I did not appreciate that this game kind of did. One, my Inquisitor did not like him. So at the beginning, I chose who I romanced, and I chose that I did not sign up to save Solas. My Inquisitor was like, fuck this fool, we gonna fuck him up.
Mm-hmm. You punched the shit out of him.
Right. So my Inquisitor being sympathetic to him, but also not saying shit about Varric, killed me inside. Are you fucking for real? Like, that was that number one. Number two, I did not appreciate that every time somebody told me something bad about Solas, it was like immediate. Somebody would be like, but he felt bad about. I swear to fuck, take a shot every time somebody tells you that Solas felt bad about killing a motherfucker. You'll be drunk as shit.
That's another thing. Like, we keep hearing, and from his own words too, that he regrets it. He feels bad. If he could change something, he would. Those are just your words. I have not seen not 1 ounce of proof out of you through this 50 hours I have played this on my first run. Any proof that you actually feel this way.
Like, and that's the thing, is like, if he's supposed to be one of the smartest people when it comes to Mage and the Fade, then how do you not know the option, bro? Like, how do you not know? Like, it would be more villainous for him to just turn around and be like, I know this is an option. I don't want to do this.
Right.
Like, I'm just not going to sacrifice anything for anyone. Like, I want to bring back what I had, and if it kills billions of people, fine. If it kills everybody in Thetis, I don't care.
Right.
That is a problem, and let me just say quickly before I go here, just a couple things. One, I did like the game.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like the gameplay, it was fun. It kind of felt like I would say Pixel Moses, but you don't. It kind of felt like the evolution of combat from Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 3,
Mm-hmm.
and so
I'm gonna get her to play it, JV. Don't worry.
please play it.
I'll scream it.
Not like that. The Varric thing at the end,
Mm-hmm.
that's a really bold decision that I don't think works.
Mm-mm.
Because I feel like my biggest issue with that decision is I think if you kill a character of that stature, that death has to be recognized and mourned.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And there's time for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that creates a really compelling narrative if you want to do something, if you want to do something to, hit us all in the gut, those of us who have been, in this universe where Varric has been a key. And I just think if they were going to do this for shock value, I'd rather have them do it on the front end and have the game deal with the consequences of Varric not being there and recognizing it.
Mm-hmm. Instead of the bait and switch.
Right.
Yeah, because also the idea that you have these really smart companions, not just smart, but empathetic companions, and nobody ever brings it up. It doesn't really, it just doesn't make sense. Like, okay, he just wasn't there. He was all in your head and you're trying to process it. I just think that's really cheap for a character that's integral to the series.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish I wish they wouldn't have done that. I never have a problem with the character being killed if it makes sense for the story.
Right.
If it actually makes sense for the story, then I understand that some of our favorites have to go.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys know that as creators.
Right.
But I think those two story choices, I think trying to redeem Solas somehow, but only going halfway or not being able to really look, he's a bad guy. He's willing to kill billions of people. You need to lean into that. Like, he's willing to ruin Thetis.
Right.
And there was too many times, like you said, where people had, well, but the Inquisition, but, and I felt like that would have been a stronger story choice and also would have reflected what happened at the end of Inquisition, where it's not set up for you. You're sympathetic to him because of everything that you've done, but he clearly makes a decision, and he's been lying to you. He should just be more of a villain on the page, not just in our heads.
Right.
And the Varric thing, it just took the wind out of my sails a little bit.
Yeah.
And then, because it sort of felt like this was a finale, but the ending that you get all the way after the credits, if you meet the criteria, obviously implies that this is not over.
Right.
And I don't know, like, the Varric death really bothers me probably more than anything. Because that should be a send-off for a character over 3 games that we've grown to really love. And I think BioWare has done well with that. Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything for you, Pixel and Mass Effect, so I won't. But I will say, you really feel some type of resolution, and you feel like the characters that you've been doing these campaigns with are like fully realized individuals that have endings to their stories that befit them and befit their relationships with your ship.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't get that with this Varric ending. I just think it's cheap. It's a cheap rug pull. It's like, I want you to be emotional, and it's a really cheap rug pull that I think a studio of that quality doesn't have to do. And I think, to me, that is not. This is the rare case where I'm going to say that is not EA meddling with the thing.
Right.
That is people writing the story, and I would love to hear an explanation from them on why that specific choice, because it's such to me, it just didn't work, and it did put a little bit of a sour taste, after a 50 or 60-hour campaign. So that's my 2 cents. I wish I could stay longer, but yeah, that's where I'm at.
We love your 2 cents, JV.
Yes.
I love that you popped in to give us your 2 cents. I appreciate that. Go ahead, Pixel.
It's like doubly shitty too, because I'm thinking about how Solas is in Inquisition, right? And whether your Inquisitor romances him, is just friends with him, or fucking hates him, right? Inquisitor and company, some of them make a relationship with him, right? So Solas drives with like different members of the party. Like he was friends with Varric, he was friends with Cole, he was friends with Iron Bull, hilariously. But he had distance with some people. So, and someone on Twitter brought up a really interesting point, that like Inquisitor and company got to know Solas, while Rook and company got to know the Dreadwolf. And I thought, wow, true. As soon as he sees Varric at that ritual site, he should feel some kind of way.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're telling me that he did not. When Varric is literally, and if you've read the books, you also know, Varric is quite literally the only character that Solas has spoken to and has actually liked since he woke up.
But see, that actually doesn't surprise me as a character, and I think BioWare really wrote themselves into a corner on this, because with Solas and making this all about him, right? Because we were talking about earlier about how Corypheus is this great villain. He had some metal fucking lines, like the throne of the gods being empty and telling you that you're an unworthy rival and he got to murk you right now. Like, Corypheus was the shit. Like, love Corypheus' bullshit. But with Solas, right, you've got this character now. You make him one of the center points of your game. And you also have to appease two parts of your fan base. How do you write somebody that lets me hate him and lets Pixel love him? I don't think you can. You've got to pick one. Because if you give me his whole redemption arc, right? Where, you know what, then me, I don't know how I feel about that as somebody who fucking hates him. But then if you don't give him that redemption arc for people who romanced him, right? Then so you almost have to decide. And so I don't, because this back and forth for me as a character, he's written very weak to me in Veilguard. It just doesn't fucking work, because like you said, JV, right? So he's ride or die with Mythal, but he fucking kills Mythal at the end of Inquisition because he is so into his own bullshit, right? And that makes sense, because we understand that he is the spirit of wisdom corrupted, right? Like, that's what happened to him. Sure, okay, then you have to lean into that corruption. I don't want to hear how sad he is every time he kills somebody, or how sad he was when he threw elves into Elgrenon's bullshit. Like, I don't want to hear that any fucking more. Like, I don't give a shit that you're regretful. Show me. Like Pixel said, there are so many moments inside of this game where you can show us Solas's quote unquote attempts at redemption. It's not just, it's like so heavy handed. Like at the end, after he fucking locks you in his prison After you find out that he killed your friend, then you go to fight Elgranon at the end, right? And Solas is there, and you've got a character talking about how, oh, I'd be dead if not for Solas. Solas really came through for us.
I don't want to hear that shit.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
At this point, I do not. Because
I really don't want to hear
he
that
lies to me again. Like I was almost like this is very well voice acted. Shout out to the voice actor, because when you meet Solas outside of the prison, I am so done with him. Like my rook is like, motherfucker, right?
Yeah.
And he lies to my face again. Like I knew it. The way he words that shit, like, I will not touch the veil. I will not. Only you, Rook, can do this.
It will not come down to
my
hand.
Like he's straight up mocking you. He's like, oh, I can think of no better person to do this than you. And I'm like, motherfucker, you are still.
My choice at the end too, I did not know what I was gonna do about this motherfucker because I was so fucked up. At this point, I'm just going through the motions because this story has fucked me up so bad. I'm just like, I don't know. So I finally get there, right? And I have a choice to make, right? It wasn't until he says the line for a second time, that first line you hear him when you boot up this game is, I will take precautions to mitigate the damage. The same shit he said to Varric, you're now saying to me right now at the end. You have not learned a goddamn thing in the 50 to 60 hours that we're doing this. I was so angry that he said that exact fucking line that I'm like, no. And I cannot believe I did it by just like, attack him, we're done, fight him, kill him, I don't care. I was so mad. I was like, you can't just, and it's gonna go on to nonsensical rambling, but to go back to your point, babe, where they wrote themselves in a hole, right? Where how do you get people who hated him that ending versus people who loved him, right? You can do it, but you can't have a different protagonist. You had to continue with the Inquisitor, not someone else.
Right.
That's what I was just gonna ask y'all. Do you think that's why? Because I think all three of us are feeling the same way about this narrative at the end, somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that this changes if our protagonist is the Inquisitor?
Yes.
Yes.
And I don't understand why they didn't do it. So in the the devs did an AMA where they talked about, I think somebody asked them a question about that, and I'm paraphrasing, but John Epler pretty much says some nonsense, and I'm just John, mad respect for the devs. I don't know shit about video games, but this is bullshit. He says something along the lines of that it's hard for you to continue to use the same protagonist in games because it like hinders you, and I'm badly paraphrasing, but that's what he says. And I'm like,
he said it was more expensive, and I'm like,
bullshit.
No, it's not.
Right. This is right. Like he doesn't elaborate. Like, but you can go on the AMA. It's on Reddit. It's still there, and you can read this. And I'm like, bull fucking shit. It worked beautifully in Mass Effect. It works in Tomb Raider. It works in Horizon. Like so many fucking Witcher. Like so many games, you play the same protagonist, right? So, and that's
weird. Because I mean, where's is the expense not being able to update the keep, like, or is the like not being able to tie it to the game? Because the only issue with that is most of us are playing on consoles or PCs where we still have access to this game. Like my Xbox Series X still remembers everything that I did in the previous game when I was playing it on the 360. So that it would seem like that information is there, and just story-wise, where you leave off after Inquisition, it sort of only makes sense for the protagonist to be the Inquisitor.
What's even more fucked up about that is, I don't know if you saw this, JV, is the world's state thing that you could import the keep and everything. There was this blessed data miner that went into Veilguard's files and shit. They found the world slate in the files, and when it was brought to the attention online, and everyone was like, where the fuck was this? And also, they were all lying and saying that like they were never going to implement it. So they got called out on that shit. So people, the writers and shit were saying basically like, we were going to do this, but time constraints because of all the rewrites. Because Veilguard underwent 3 rewrites.
Right.
And that also and that's also my beef with this game. My beef with this game is that the very last Dragon Age game literally ignores everything that happened in 3 previous games. And that is not what I expect.
Very serious things that happened too.
That is
not.
That's bad.
It's bad.
It's very, very unsatisfying because I just, what weight does Rook have? Like we don't. Rook is the voice actors are great. Let me say that the voice actors for Rook are incredible. Rook doesn't have anything that emotionally ties me to them.
Right.
Nope.
Right.
They just don't. When you're taking over Rook, I expected that first couple of hours to give me more about Rook, but it's kind of like, it's in media res, right? You're just there,
right,
already, and that's, I guess that's fine. But I thought, okay, well, you're at least going to give me a story about like how Varric came to pick this person,
right? Something important.
Yeah, those are things that I just think, when a developer says, in I agree with you, Crystal, shout out to the developers. I know it's an incredibly hard job, but when you tell me that it's difficult to take a protagonist from one game into another game, and perhaps your most well-known game outside of Knights of the Old Republic has a protagonist across 3 games, and the reason all of it hits in each console, in each game as you move forward, is you have that experience.
Right.
You have that experience. You're talking to characters that you've built relationships with, and I think that to me just goes back to the Varric of it all. For those of us who love this world and love this story, I just think it missed the mark. There were so many more things to do with Solas, especially if the Inquisitor had been involved. And I think there are so many things that you could have done different with Varric, and certainly honoring his death and having that be a part of the story and not just a cheap trick at the end.
Right.
Yeah.
No satisfaction in it. Right. There's just no satisfaction. I'm having a hard time imagining them playing through this, or the writers writing this and saying, hey, this moment, this twist is going to be a gut punch in a good way. Instead, it was a gut punch in a bad way.
Right. Right.
And I think it undermines a game that I think for 50 hours is pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty fun. But those of us who have played all these games and been in this world, it's a little bit of a kick in the balls. A little bit of a kick in the balls.
Because we had a set standard with the previous 3 games, and like especially, and I'm gonna put some real hard emphasis on Dragon Age 2. Fuck EA for only giving them 6.5 months to complete this game, because that's all they got. But also, fantastic work still delivering that expectation of what we expect out of a Dragon Age title in just 6 months. If that can happen, what the fuck happened here?
And that's what is bothering me, and that's why I'm actually a little bit nervous that Dragon Age is getting so many Veilguard is getting so many accolades. It's not because it's not a good RPG title, and we talked about this earlier. If you just separate this from the Dragon Age world, this is a good video game. Like flat out. It runs great, it's beautiful, it's fun, the combat's fun, like it checks all
fantasy video game title, but not a Dragon Age title.
Right, it checks all the boxes, right? I don't understand the crisis that BioWare seems to be having after Inquisition. Like, that's what's fucking me up. Because, yeah, sure. Okay, if you... it almost like... We've had these conversations before about studios and especially, like, taking the wrong lesson from thing, right? So, Dragon Age Inquisition is fucking phenomenal. Yes, sure, there's some slog. Did it need to be open world? That's a fair debate. But as far as just what people play Dragon Age games for, who was mad about Inquisition? Your core fan base, the people that show up for you time and again, that are making you the money. Who, like, did they? None of us had none of us gave a shit. We left the hinterlands, bruh. I'm so tired of hearing about the fucking hinterlands. Like, we left. We was out. We was busy. We talking. Right. Like, we're out. We're talking to people. We're doing shit. We're not there. And then after Inquisition.
I got a dip real quick.
Bye, JV.
Try to keep listening. Love y'all.
Love you.
Bye. Thank you for coming.
So yeah, it's a great game. We get all the romance scenes we want. I can kiss my companion whenever I want. When I put in the Dragon Age Keep, I get different scenes from different choices. Like, how fucking cool is that, right? So you get all this after Inquisition. And then somehow after Inquisition,
three beautiful DLCs, by the way, 3 awesome DLCs that gave beautiful lore aspects. I had a great time doing. Descent was hard as fuck, but I enjoyed the shit out of it.
Right, so good. So you get so much shit that has you so hyped about the next Dragon Age game, and then what happens? You fuck up with Andromeda. But what lesson did you learn from that? Like, what did people say about Andromeda? It's a fun game, but it's not a fucking Mass Effect game. That's what people said.
So,
right?
I know what it is, or at least this is like from people who have discussed it on Twitter and my own opinions, my humble opinions, right? And I think this also goes into why they felt the need to put Rook in the protagonist stance versus the Inquisitor, right? And this is very much a particularly hot take because a lot of people yell gatekeepiness when people talk about this, but like, they want to bring in new people so much that they're scrubbing away the whole identity of your title, basically. So if you had the Inquisitor continue in Veilguard, it's basically a requirement to go back and play Inquisition because who the fuck is this, right? Why is this a bad thing? New people are going to come in anyway. It happens see Witcher right now. Like, people are now flocking to The Witcher 3 to play it to get ready for the new saga, right? I need people both game companies and people to be like, if you want to play the latest title without playing the previous ones, that's on you.
Right.
Do not come into a series expecting it to bend over backwards to rehash a story that you could have played but didn't.
Correct.
So that's why we have all these issues now with like Veilguard and Mass Effect. It's because you care too much about money because you want to bring everyone new possible and you don't care about continuing a narrative story as it goes. It's like shows nowadays with only 8 episodes to give you and a minimum time to tell a story. It's like that, but in video game form.
It absolutely is. And it's bullshit. And it's literally bullshit.
Sucks,
and I don't understand the mindset. You are BioWare. How the fuck are you having an identity crisis? And I don't know how much this is on EA and how much this is literally on them, because so many people who were originally there have gone. They're making their own shit now. They're not there anymore. You fired a fuck ton of people after Veilguard, so they're gone. So it's like BioWare is and I'm like a little bit nervous for Mass Effect, but not right. But like, you just did Dragon Age so dirty and you didn't have to. And that's what's like, how is it that the last game in the series does not recognize anything I've done in 3 previous games? You're telling me all I'm doing is getting missives that the world that I loved, cared about is just dying, and there's nothing I can do about it. It's just fucked.
Like, if you were tired of Thetis and you wanted a clean slate from like a writer standpoint or a director standpoint, I don't fucking know what's going on. But if you wanted a clean slate to tell a different story, this was not the game to do it with.
Correct.
And that is not how you clean slate.
Nope. This was the shittiest possible way to clean slate.
Either don't continue the main story. I would have preferred no closure versus this disrespect. Or make another game that said set in the universe of Dragon Age, not a continuation of Solas.
Correct. It and that's what's fucking with my enjoyment of this game, because my Inquisitor, like Isabella, is there but doesn't say fuck all about Hawk.
Hawk just doesn't fucking exist in this iteration. Like, I don't know. That's a whole fucking protagonist that you're just pretending doesn't exist.
I got a letter from Cullen that he was on his maiden Rathus or some shit, but I don't hear fuck all about him. That's it. That's gone. I've got so many companions that
added just because they don't know what else to do.
Right. Like, it was just so you cannot have a Dragon Age game that is so disconnected from other Dragon Age games. Like, I don't understand that. Like, I don't understand that choice. I don't understand why you thought people would be happy about that. And I hate that. Listen, let me put it this way. If Dragon Age Veilguard is what BioWare needed for EA to fuck off and let them tell the stories that they want, that is one thing. But right now, I am not convinced and have lost mad faith that BioWare is able to still tell stories the way they used to. I feel like that ship has sunk. I need to just accept it and move on.
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at, because as much as I love the previous 3, right? The ship was sinking with each game. Like, and some games benefit more than others, like Port 2 over here, 6 months.
Right. And there was a BioWare crunch on Inquisition as well. Like, y'all just were fucking up. Yeah.
And because some of the writers would go into like things that they were going to add more depth to Inquisition, but they just didn't have time, and EA wouldn't fucking give it to them, right? So every time we have discussions about Dragon Age, I'm always left almost mourning what it could be, especially with Veilguard, right? Because we've waited 10 years for a continuation of this, right? But someone did the math of like collective work time that the studio did. It would have been only about 3.5 years plus like 2 to 3 rewrites and staff fucking conflicts with the firing and all that shit and all the drama behind the scenes that we probably don't know about, and whatever the fuck EA wanted to do. So for all we know, Veilguard is literally just a mad dash compromise between EA and people that actually wanted to do a thing.
And that's what it feels like. It feels like a shitty compromise. And I understand that they only had 3 years. They needed 5. They needed 5 or 6 for them to, and I don't think they had it.
We would have waited.
And I don't know who to blame for that.
Especially like, because they were so quiet about a sequel for so long that people were actively losing hope that we'd ever get one, right? Same with me as well, right? It's one thing if you say it's happening, right? And maybe you give like little hints here and there, but come right out and say, listen, we're doing the thing. We want to do it right. You might not hear back from us for a while, right? I would take that.
Everybody takes that.
You're doing it.
Everybody. CD Projekt Red drops a trailer and then says bye. That's it. Yes. That's what they do. CD Projekt Red says, we're going to make a thing and we'll check back in when we're done. And then they fuck off.
See, now the upcoming sequel for Okami, they dropped a teaser and said, you're not going to hear from us for quite a long time, but it's happening. I'm like, I'll take it.
Right. Now everybody's just, we're chill. We got plenty of shit to do. There's plenty of, like, I don't understand. So
I'm not hurting for games to play. I will wait.
I wish BioWare would get their shit together. But I'm at the point now where I'm just going to have to enter a state of mourning. Like, I'm going to be so fucking for real. Like, when they release the new Mass Effect, I'm going to play it. Mass Effect is a different beast, though, because Mass Effect's universe has already been rebooted. They gave us 3 games, 1 protagonist, continued the story, and ended in a slightly controversial but mostly satisfying way, right? They can do whatever the fuck they want now with Mass Effect. They are not tied the way Dragon Age fans were. So, do I have some hope for Mass Effect? Absolutely. I absolutely do. Hi, Tara. I absolutely do.
Hi, Tara.
But I'm mad at BioWare right now for fucking us with Veilguard, and I wish more Dragon Age fans would speak up about this, because I know that you are not happy that these games did not connect. I think a lot of people, especially Solomancers, I think you are settling. I think you are accepting breadcrumbs just to stick it to the incels. And I don't think that is the way to go, because if you do, now don't be mean, y'all. Don't drive people off of Twitter. But if you do not speak up about what you expect from BioWare, they are going to do whatever the fuck they want to do. And maybe we're okay with that. But then I look at a studio like Larian, who was so fucking clear from day one who they are marketing.
Did not give a fuck.
Did not give a fuck. This is who our game is for, and we don't give a fuck if you play it or not. And they were so clear about that, and look what we got. That game continues. It's still fucking winning awards.
Still going. It has won all the rewards it can win.
There's no more. It can't win. There's no more awards to give it.
There's no more.
Like, no more awards to give it. It's won them all.
I would honestly say that Lorien is probably the golden child because of what you should be as a company. Because Baldur's Gate 3 aside, let's pretend it doesn't exist for a second. They have made other games before it, like Divinity and something else. I can't remember what it was. Both are very niche titles.
Sure.
Very niche.
Right.
All of them did well.
Sure.
There was the audience for them. They found it, right? And then they looked at the creation rights for like Baldur's Gate. It's like, I want that. Also very niche title, because while it's still a fantasy RPG, it's still built in a D&D's format, right? Which is a very niche audience as well, tabletop-y, right? Fucking won it.
Right.
They killed it.
Right.
And now because of them, people are getting into tabletop.
Right. So it's just like I don't know if the catering is because of EA or if it's because of BioWare, because I'm not letting BioWare off the hook right now because shit is so fucking messy. I genuinely don't know what is EA and what is BioWare. So it is clear that BioWare is shifting into some new fucking identity. But if this is it, I don't want it. You know what I'm like? You almost feel like I don't fucking rope me into a new series that you're just going to Netflix cancel on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if you make a new Mass Effect and you're not prepared to tell cohesive storytelling and give me what I expect from BioWare, I gotta lower my standards now. Now I gotta fuck off and I gotta go play which is great. I gotta finish Baldur's Gate 3. Can't fucking wait. But it's just Dragon Age, are you really satisfied that this game does not tie into anything we've done in previous games? We're good with that? We're just okay?
I've noticed now that the novelty has kind of worn off a little bit and we have a little bit of distance, right? Because there are still people who are playing it for the first time right now, right?
Sure.
There's still plenty. So now you have more and more people that have finished it, and there's some time between finishing it, and now they're starting to talk about more openly about things that they're like, and it proceeds into more things that they did not like. So now people are starting to open up a little bit more now that the novelty is worn off and they have distance from it. So I'm happy to see that, because I can't find all my bookmarks, but I saved so many bookmarks of people that are like, this ain't it. And especially now, because I wanted to cross-reference things. So I thought I was being gaslit a little bit from how I remember Solas initially in Inquisition, right? I went to the ending of Trespasser, right? And I wanted to make sure that I am remembering him in the way that he is portrayed in Inquisition, right? And you get this absolutely fantastic dialogue if you've romanced him and you select that angry option. Like, your Inquisitor, no fucks given, steps up to him and yells at him like, you should have trusted me, that kind of shit, right? And he takes it. And he just takes that shit because he knows he has to, because you just take that L, bro. And he is.
Right.
And then you scroll down to the comment section. There's one comment in particular that I... They played Veilguard first. The Veilguard is their introduction into Dragon Age. Then they went backward into Inquisition, finished Trespasser. And they're like, I'm really glad I played Veilguard first, because if I went from this to it, I'd be really fucking disappointed. And there are a lot of comments like that from people that are either returning to the scene because they need to feel some kind of way, because the writing is just, it's just better. That's it. It's just better over here. And then some people who are new that are like, what is this?
Right.
Like, why didn't we get this? So
right.
I
don't know. Final thoughts as well.
I have so many things to say, but it's like so many nonsensical ramblings. I guess.
I know. You just gotta so this is like, I'm literally mourning a video game company that I love that I'm just like pissed off at. I'm just so mad.
If you had like handed this to me, like, make Veilguard work and for everybody, right? I would have loved to. This is probably gonna be the one occasion where I actually make fanfics of how I would have done this.
Right. Please do. I love it's very clear that Mass Effect teams worked on Veilguard. I don't think that's a bad thing. I do love some of the Mass Effect-y things. Here's the thing that I'm not in love with, okay? So in Mass Effect 1, this is a spoiler a little bit for everybody, there are two characters that you get to a point where you can't save them both. You have to pick one. You don't give a fuck about these characters. One's racist and the other one is just boring. So it's not really a big deal. You don't really care. I'm not a fan of it, okay? In Mass Effect 2, it is very hard. And I say this as somebody who plays games on easy, but there is very specific choices you have to make over the course of the games to save everybody, okay? But it is an option. You always have an option to save two races, to save all of your companions. There are plenty of things that you can fuck up. Like, I'm a spoiler, but make sure you upgrade your ship in Mass Effect 2, because if you don't, you will get fucked. You're going to kill somebody. I love that. So there's little things that you can do that are all based on my choices, right? Choice, right? We want choice. Veilguard ham-fists two choices down your throat and does not give you any option to rectify them, and I hate that.
It's a really sucky choice.
It's really shitty. So first it's
really shitty.
I have to choose between two cities. I have to either save Minrathos or Antiva, right? Now, Treviso, excuse me. I can live with that narrative. Here's why. Because there are two fucking blighted dragons. I can't be everywhere at once, right? That is the one choice where I'm like, fine. If I have to live with that, okay. If I always have to choose to save one or the other, fine. And do not let me forget to circle back around to how women are treated in this game, because we're going to dive into that in a second. Okay? That's fine. Sure. But then we come to a choice where I can only say his name so I don't say it wrong. Davrin or Harding. Fuck that. Fuck that.
That was the shittiest thing I've ever
seen. And fuck you that you don't give me any path to save them both. I don't like that at all. Switch it up. Make it two different companions every time based on some kind of choices. Or make it again. I have to do XYZ perfectly, or I can't save them both. Don't make me kill one of these characters. For no reason. Again, and shock value. Like, why? No.
this even because now that I've played it, finally finished it, right? Now it even doubly doesn't make sense because whoever you chose, whether it's Davin or Harding, the mission that they had to go on was successful. They do not die in that mission that they had to carry out by themselves. It's later for some godforsaken weird pathing that you didn't even decide about. You had no choice in this instance for them to die, and I don't understand what this is narrative, because you would think that they would have died on that mission that you chose. No, they don't. So I don't understand that narrative choice. Also, two things. Why the fuck would you, and I don't know if this is purposeful, I don't know if they just didn't think about it, but I don't know. Why would you pit a brand new black character against a returning white character? Why would you do that? Also, there is only one occasion ever in Dragon Age where you had a one or the other choice. It was in Inquisition in the Fade sequence. It was between Hawk and another character, right? The thing is, if you don't like your choices in that scene, you can change it. Your choices are Hawk, Stroud, Alistair, or Loghain. Pick. They do not saddle you with one option. They let you change it. So the fact that they did this, the shittiest fucking thing you could have done, because Dragon Age has never had it. In the instance that they did, they let you change it. And also your choices for the characters were really suspect. Fuck yourself.
Yeah, that's shitty. It's shitty. I don't understand. I don't like, I think I hate that choice. It's like two ham-fisted choices that you just my expectation with BioWare games is that I have choices. And sure, I can fuck up. I can be like, pick the wrong person for the mission and they die. I can not upgrade my ship.
That's fine.
That I have no problem with any of that. Like the first time,
choose the inks.
Sure.
Let it be my choice to choose the inks. Like,
come on.
Player agency would be incredible. Like a little bit, please.
Give it to me. Why are you taking it away? Like how? Like I don't understand. Anyway. Also, now I'm gonna talk about the other elephant in the room that I'm really pissed off about, and I'm tired of this happening.
Happening a lot lately.
Stop expecting women to excuse shitty behavior. Here's what I mean. First, let's talk about Nev and Lucanus, okay? Depending, if you choose to save Minrathos, Lucanus, you are locked out of his romance. He becomes hardened. He will not romance you.
Because Treviso becomes blighted and destroyed, and he has to go and help for a while. Right. He actually leaves your party for a bit.
Sure. He does. He will not. He'll come back. He's a little different. He will not romance you. If you choose to save Treviso and let Docktown get fucked up, Nev becomes hardened. She also leaves for a while, but she will eventually forgive you. Tell me why. This becomes even more shittier. Now let's circle back around to Solas, okay? I need people to go and just watch that scene, take off your rose-colored I love Solas glasses for a second, and literally watch what happens here. This fucking like, almost like incel like motherfucker, right? Has done all these things over the course of the game, does not apologize once. He's literally the character that'll slit your throat, use you for what he needs to use you for, and then tell you afterwards that he feels bad about it. This is real, y'all. This is who Solas is. I'm not saying he doesn't feel bad, but I'm saying he does not give a fuck about that, right? 3 women coddle him. And this is not, yes, I hate him, but y'all, he is coddled to death in this scene. When you look at how the Inquisitor talks to him in Trespasser versus how the Inquisitor talks to him in this scene in Veilguard. Oh my God. And if your Rook is female, you got 3 people who coddle him and forgive him for everything. And then he makes the right choice. Your Inquisitor does not say, I just forgive you. And it happens so fast. It's like, y'all don't even have a back and forth. That Inquisitor shows up, said, I'm somebody you wronged. And then Solas says that fucking cute shit that he says to y'all when y'all romance him. And she's trying to like convince him or whatever. And then Mythal comes out, who has been murdered by him.
Twice.
Who has been murdered by him twice. And also says, you and me, we did some rough shit, but I forgive you too, and I release you.
It really felt like that Marvel shit with like She-Hulk when she just wasn't allowed to be angry. You know? I don't know whose fucking decision that was, because again, Inquisition, night and day. How your Inquisitor treats him. Even if you don't choose the angry option in Inquisition, it's literally, even if you fucking hated him, right? They still managed to build this interesting, what's the word I'm looking for? Rapport? I don't know if rapport is the word.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, where it feels like Solas and Inquisitor, no matter what your relationship was to him in Inquisition, he will talk to you. He will actually engage with you, unlike how he talks to Rook, right?
Mm-hmm.
He will actually have this debate with you and engage and all that shit, right? In that Trespasser scene, even if you don't pick the angry option, your Inquisitor does step to him and be like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I don't know whose writing decision that was, but also go fuck yourself.
It's just shitty. It's just like, no. Like, it'd be different if, like, over the course of Veilguard, Solas genuinely has a redemption arc, right? Something that, I do not like the last two fucking trilogy movies of Star Wars, but Kylo Ren has an actual redemption arc like, he has one. He literally shows the fuck up and go, like, he has that fucking arc. Solas never has that in this game. All you do is learn about all the shitty things he's done, right? You learn why. You learn that he's very sorry for them, but at no point does he actually do anything to show that he's sorry. There's no action. It's just a lot of this. And without showing you anything, you're just supposed to forgive that bad behavior.
No proof, no giving whatsoever. The fact I would say that this is the game that just takes from you and gives nothing in return.
It gives you nothing. Why is it that Lucanus won't forgive you but Nev does? Why is that? That's a choice. Why?
Yes.
Why?
Yes, it's a choice.
Why is that a choice? What is this? No, like, if like Nev's whole house burns down.
Twitter later, actually.
Like, what? Why is this a thing? Why is this? Anyway, y'all.
Same with Harding, actually. Like, so she literally just learned how fucked the dwarves got, how fucked the Titans got, and how the blights occur now, right? And yeah, she's angry, but she is unprepared to condemn Solas.
Why? Bro, if I found out a motherfucker
like,
because he wanted a body, murdered my race and turned them into the Blight? It's bullshit that Nev will date you after you fuck up in Marathos, if you really look at Nev's personality, okay? Nev is very much like the type of person, and she even says this herself, how she has learned that she can't rely on people, that people leave, you know? And that's why when you do romance her, if you save Docktown, that it's so cute, because she learns that you're the one that always has stuck around, right? So you abandoning, if there is anybody who should not fuck with you if you don't go and help them, it is absolutely Nev. It is absolutely Nev. Now, yes, you can absolutely make a great case for Rook doing things to maybe show up and prove to Nev that they're going to be there. But then you have to do the same thing for Lucanus, because that man is a fucking teddy bear. That man is the biggest fucking teddy bear in the history of teddy bear. He is literally going around buying shopping lists for all your companions because he remembers who likes what and cooks for them. He is just like he's a fucking killer, but he a teddy bear, right? He is that character, but but I can't get no redemption arc with him if I don't save his. Stop it. Women do not have to forgive you for your bad behavior, period. Women do not have to forgive you for your bad behavior, period. Anybody does not have to forgive you for your bad behavior, period. Forgiveness is not the end all be all, and it is not owed. And in fact, forgiveness is not even for you. Forgiveness is for the person that has been wronged. It is not for you. Period, point blank. Nobody has to forgive you. Deal with that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Romances were undersold as shit.
Yes. That's the word I was trying to find, undersold. Like, don't get me wrong, especially with Harding. Like, I enjoyed the fuck out of that romance. It was really cute. Loved it, but like, there wasn't a lot there, even with Harding. And I know Lucanus definitely did not have a lot of content. And I think Davrin also doesn't have a lot of content as well. But like,
I would have rather they spent more time on romance content than letting me decorate my room.
mm-hmm.
I didn't give a shit. Like, that's cool. That's something you add when you have time. That's not something...
A random thing that you do, yeah.
Sure. I can't imagine how much work went into that, and it was the least important thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, literally the least important. Even being able to, like, change the lighthouse, cool. Love that. Don't care. I would rather a romance scene. Another romance scene. The ability... so it's like... Let's listen. You don't get a lot of romance scenes in Origin, but you do get a lot of cute dialogue and shit, right? You don't get a lot of romance in Dragon Age 2, but they had 6 months. But I don't feel gypped because of how short the story is. It works, right? And I romanced Isabella.
Because the things that they add a lot to it. Like, you could at least kiss them anytime you wanted. Not with 2, but they still gave you the content.
Right.
You know?
In 3... they give in Inquisition, you get so much romance content. It's so good. You can't go backwards in 4.
They went backwards in every conceivable way possible, except for maybe graphics, of course, but like in character creation. Everything else, you went backwards. This should have been your first Dragon Age title.
Correct.
How is it your 4th one and you've dropped it?
Right. Listen, everybody loves those hair physics, but I bet you your core audience would have preferred more romance scenes. Give me less hair options if I get more romance scenes with my characters.
Mm-hmm.
This is what
especially now when we have, again, data miners going through files and shit, and we have storyboards being released. There is a beautiful storyboard, and if you don't know a storyboard, it's basically rough sketches and paintings of scenes that were a work in progress, right? There's a beautiful storyboard of Lucanus and Rook, and you're in a lake, and he fucks you in a gondola.
I'm so mad
that you just didn't get
that. I am so mad we don't get that. I don't mind a romance being a slow burn. That's not my beef. But you get there's so much that, again, you get so much in Inquisition that you just don't have in Veilguard. I can't talk to them anytime I want. The 2 romance scenes I get, they're not until deep in like to the end of Act 2, Act 3, right? And then they feel a little rushed. They feel like, oh shit, there, we got to put the romance scene in here. Throw that in real quick. I don't like. How many did you get to sleep with Harding before she dies?
Nope. We didn't even actually... Did we kiss? I don't know. We didn't even really kiss. Because there was this whole thing of, like, when she gets, like, overly happy or overstimulated, her, like, Titan abilities can fuck up Rook a little bit. So you don't even really kiss or hold hands. least I don't recall.
And that's not resolved before she dies. Come on!
Nope.
Come on!
Sure wasn't.
Like, and this again goes to like BioWare. Like, why do you not know who your core audience is? Larian knew. The first thing they released was bear fucking.
Yes, literally bear fucking.
How do you not know who your core audience is? What are all the fan fictions about? Like
there
nobody
wrote fanfics out there.
No, there is not one fucking fanfic that is about hair physics. I love it. Don't get me wrong. It was fun. It was great. The character creator is beautiful. We can make beautiful characters. I'm not sad about that. But if you were to do a poll for your core audience and you would have asked them, hey guys, we only have so much time to get this game out. What do you want to focus on? Do you want more romance scenes or more hairstyles? Who the fuck is picking hairstyles? That's what we have modders for.
A thing to mention as well, and like we could have a whole separate debate about this specifically, but like no matter who you are in the Dragon Age fandom, right? Everyone can agree that from Origins, the usage of origin stories was throughout the community, no matter who you were as a fan, the origin stories were a work of art. Everyone loved having an origin story for the character that you got to play through, and you got to have your fucking traumatic end of how you became a fucking warden, right?
Bro, that was great.
A fantastic concept that everyone loved, and you never did it again.
Why though?
And like, for a lot of people, Origins is their favorite title, right? And some for not great reasons, but like, something that everyone agrees is those origin stories were fire. Why not bring them back? Because if you told me you can have origin stories or crazy hair visits, I am choosing the origin stories because it's been 20 years now. I think. Like no, how old is Origins?
Listen,
2009. Hang on.
If you only have 3 years to tell this story, right? You finally go to EA. You're like, we want to finish Dragon Age. EA's like, fine, 3 years. That's all you got. We're not going to give you not a fucking figure it the fuck out, right? They only tell you got 3 years. Why is your goal then? Well, I have to appeal to the largest player base. No. Why? Why? Why is that the choice?
Mm-hmm.
And you make this choice? Like I felt, dude, when fucking Baldur's Gate came out and then won Game of the Year, I would have literally like walked into EA's office and been like, you're going to give me 2 more years and I will give you the money that Larian just made. Like, why was that not a conversation? You know what I'm saying? Because I actually read something where it was, EA is so stupid. It was the success of Jedi Fallen, the first Star Wars Jedi game, that piqued EA to realize that you could make single player games successful. I don't understand why EA was so stupid that they didn't realize this. Fuck EA. But apparently that had a big, like, that the success of that game was, like, really important. And, like, EA has actually shifted. There's, like, EA Sports and EA Games, and they're 2 different divisions now, okay? So everything doesn't have to be shipped, live service, multiplayer, whatever the fuck EA is trying to do, right? But again, this is also on BioWare. Like I want to know how many of you actually went to bat for what you want Dragon Age to be, and how many of you were kind of just like, let's just try something new again with the 4th title.
And that's fine, because so like you can try new things, because case in point, all 3 games are different.
Sure.
All of them have a different style.
Sure.
All of them have a different narrative style, right? But all 3 deliver in the expectation of what Dragon Age is. It's fine to try a new thing with Veilguard. That's perfectly fine. but you have to deliver the same quality that we are expecting of you. It cannot come at the cost of your identity and your title.
Right. Am I just confused as to who is playing these Dragon Age games? Like, I almost feel like, do I not have an understanding of, like, do they have like some kind of data that just tells us that all us role players are the ones that are not playing these games? Because I'm like, listen, if you were so hung up on money, right? If money was the issue, do you know how much money Dragon Age Inquisition could have made if they had to let you decorate Skyhold the way you can decorate in fucking Star Wars? Can you just imagine? So, listen, I don't know. I'm just going to spend the next however many years mourning what I didn't get.
What we could have gotten.
What I could have gotten and what I'm just being let down this year. I was let down by Aliens and now I'm being let down by fucking Dragon. It's fine. It's fine.
And I'm so sad because it's probably because Dragon Age for me is my like fandom, right? It's my universe. I'm always in it deep, right? But this is the first time in like any fandom really where I've had to basically like mourn XYZ and then basically write it off like it doesn't exist. And I know a lot of you who are in different fandoms know this feeling, but it's the first time for me and I fucking hate it. Like there's a Twitter debate going on about Rook, right? And the writing direction that they used with Veilguard. And people who are feeling kind of like how we're feeling, Rook feels like a nobody, right? But people are like attacking this opinion with like, well, the Warden, Hawk, and the Inquisitor were nobodies, but like the difference is, yes, they were nobodies, but with dialogue, you were allowed to decide who they were as people.
Right.
Like, you could be a fucking asshole with the Warden, right? You could be a really big asshole with Hawk. Like, you could actually choose to have Meredith kill your sibling if you wanted, right? With the Inquisitor, you could also be a raging bitch. Like, you could do some really fucking evil shit. Like, you're pushing Cassandra into drinking again. Like, you have people leaving left and right. You get to choose their morals. Like, are they pro-mage, pro-Templar, other factions, right? You can choose all these things, but with Rook, you can't. They don't have opinions. They're literally a blank slate in every sense of the word. So I now understand what they were saying, how Rook feels like a nobody. Because even when you sink 50, 60 hours in them, Rook is still a nobody.
It's true.
The only thing I know is that you're supposedly a friend of Varric's, but I don't have any background about this.
It's true. It's really true. And you kind of have to, and I didn't pick these, but I've heard from other people as well that you kind of don't get a lot of choice in how Rook's personality is shaped either. Even when you're choosing different dialogue options, right? And there's definitely not that evil path. And I miss having a Vivian.
I miss having a Vivian or a Sten or a Sarah, even like
right, a Shale, like a like
definitely Shale,
fucking
Fenris,
right? That annoying little motherfucker, Anders. Like, listen, I love all the companions in Veilguard, but Vivian is one of my favorite fucking people. I fucking love Vivian.
My favorite fucking dialogue ever, party banter. Well, I've got two, really, but both of them involve Vivian and Dorian. And they're amazing together, right? And I forget what fucking shit Dorian and Vivian were on with the other banters before we got here. And he's basically like, you know, Vivian, despite our differences, there's one thing that we both can be thankful about. And she's like, what's that? We're not in Teven. They're fucking savages.
They really are. Savages. They really are.
I miss and don't get me wrong, I adore the companions in Veilguard.
I really do like them.
But
I really do like them.
All of them are likable, and that's the problem. I miss having companions where they spark vicious debate in the community about their morals or if they're a shit person or not. I love having the gray companions like Anders. A big Anders is like big debate with Anders, right? That's a big example. Shale, who's very unapologetic, will call you it the entire time. Like,
Even
Sten
got
is just
on Wynn's
openly
nerves.
like
That's incredible.
yeah, always, yeah. Zevran, who's very like cutthroat assassin, but also like flirts with you constantly, so you don't know if you should be charmed or feel a little threatened, right?
Right.
Morgan is just a bitch. We love Morgan, but
Right.
she a bitch.
She a bitch. She's a fucking
Vivian,
bitch.
also a point of debate, who's very like unapologetic and who she is, but we love that.
Right.
Dorian is very bougie as fuck, and both he and Vivian always make fun of Solas, calling him the apostate hobo, right?
It's so good. It's so there was just there was
fucking Blackwall being a goddamn murderer, and you get to find that out in the most fucked up way.
even in 2 they had 6 months. Meryl and her bullshit, Fenris and his bullshit, Anders, what we just talked about, his fucking Isabel's bullshit. Jesus
Aveline was adorable. Like one of my favorite instances, and you didn't do this during your playthrough, right? But if you agree to help Meryl, wrote the Alluvian, and you go to the clan, and there's a lot of fuck shit that happens during this quest, right? If you want to be a dick, bring Fenris and Anders with you when you do this, because when the bad thing happens, for once in their lives, they actually agree on something.
Oh shit.
Right? Like,
clutching my pearls that Fenris and Anders agree on something. What the fuck?
I know. And then also with party conflict too. If you have Sebastian as a companion and you have him with you when Anders does the thing that he does, he will fucking demand that you kill him or he's fucking leaving. He will not help you at all.
Right.
I miss that shit too.
I do, right? Like there was such like choice and consequence. And it's not that Dragon Age Veilguard didn't feel heavy. It did. Like the stuff you find out fucked up. Some of that the blighted shit that happens is fucked up. Elgranon and his sister, they're scary. They are scary fucking villains. They are wonderfully voice acted, by the way. Fucking chef's kiss. So great, right? But it's like all these, like you have, and this is what Veilguard pisses off so much, is that you've got all these pieces that are there, but they feel like it's almost like this is a rough draft. Like this is like, but now build on this. Don't ship this. Build on this. Now what are we missing? We're missing the companion that people want to hate. We're missing people that'll leave your party if you're an asshole. We're missing more romance scenes. Sure, they move around, but can I interact with them? Right? It's almost like Rook, like you said, Rook is just there. And it's weird too because like, and I was thinking this as well, and now I'm just being nitpicky, and I know I am, so just bear with, but like
I'm also about to be really nitpicky.
Right. When you're making decisions for your companions, and I know that they say like, I can't decide, so Rook pick for me, but I'm like, what you mean you can't decide? Why are it feels very like I remember thinking, why are you giving this choice to me? Like Ilario, for example, right? I'm not a fucking crow. Katarina's right here. Your first Talon. Why
you have Viago and Taya right over
Viago
here
and right, they're also right fucking there. I'm not an Inquisitor. Like when I'm in the Inquisitor, people coming to me and asking me to make decisions, that tracks. Like there's oh my god, remember when you sat on the fucking Inquisitor throne and decided the fate of NPCs? Like that was, oh my god, the fucking goat. Bro, the goat.
And I love
the goat
you have before then too, because like when you walk into your great hall and you see the throne and Josephine staying right there, she's like, okay, yeah, you're gonna have to give judgment suit, and your Inquisitor's like, huh?
I know, you're like, what you mean? I gotta do what? Like, you know,
and she has to explain it to you. Like,
right. But like, even with Cassandra's quest, I don't make the decision for her. Cassandra decides what happens to the Seekers. I show up, I'm a part of it, I help her, but what happens to the Seekers is not my fucking choice. That's her choice.
And I have it's such a nitpicky thing.
Do it.
I just want to mention it's really, really nitpicky.
This is cathartic for us.
It on Twitter. Yeah, it's therapy.
It's therapy. This is therapy. This is our therapy.
Because someone mentioned it on Twitter, and I remember I kind of wrote it off, and I didn't think of anything of it, right? But now that we've kind of talked about this title just kind of diminishing its identity and why it makes it stand apart from other generic fantasy titles, right? In lore, and not even in lore, very in your face in every Dragon Age title, if you are blighted, you're fucked. You were either dead or you have to become a warden, and that's 50-50, whether you die or not. So in Veilguard, and again, this is a very missable thing, but whenever you stand in those blight puddles, you get a debuff on top of your health bar that says blighted. And someone on Twitter was saying that, like, I understand that it's literally just a game mechanic, and I get that, but it feels just like any other fantasy title where you've taken a very lore heavy thing of being blighted. Like, you don't want to hear that word ever. Like, poor fucking Wesley in Dragon Age 2 when he died immediately because he got hurt by
the blight.
Darkspawn blood, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to hear that word ever. So when you're standing in the blight puddles and that flashes up that you're being debuffed, it's like, what are we doing here? Like, I know it's just a mechanic, but like it feels it's a bunch of little things that like pop on top of one another and just makes a big pile. It's just like little tiny things. I'm like, why?
Right.
You've taken a very serious thing in this universe and you've demoted it to debuff.
Right.
When this was never a thing. Like, again, it's just a tiny nitpick. And I'm just like,
it's shitty. And that's what happens, right? When you have a title like this that is almost there but not quite, then you're noticing the flaws. Then you're noticing all the little cracks, and now they're just adding onto the pile and they're just pissing you off.
Like, I think probably the thing I'll end off with is like, having been a fan since 2009 and ever since finishing Origins, I've always wanted like a Dragon Age tattoo or a sleeve, right? And this want has continued on until like the end of Inquisition, right? And it makes me so sad as like a diehard fan that when I eventually get this tattoo or sleeve, I am not including Veilguard on it.
Facts.
And that makes me really sad.
Right.
Like, you don't get to be with the trilogy right now, bro.
I'm just sad too. I'm just sad. Like, if you love this game, I love that for you. Like, seriously.
I also love that for you. I wish I could be you, but I
would
can't.
do. I mean, the world is so hard right now. We don't let anything take away your joy. However, I think that even when the games that we loved are being attacked by assholes for reasons that don't count, right? Like, whatever. Fuck these incels, right? I think we still have to be loud in what we want and what we expect from video game companies, especially in this climate. Like, what is the message we want to send, and what is it that we expect, right? As fans, it can't just be, well, I'll always love something if an incel hates it. That can't be it.
No, that's not it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not helpful at all, right? So it's a great fucking video game, right? It really is. It's fun. It looks great. I really appreciate the time they took to make sure it ran well. Like, those aren't my problems. But as a Dragon Age fan, I feel really let down. I feel extremely let down, and I feel like this game was not for me. It was for somebody who just wanted a new video game, an RPG, who just wanted to play a quote unquote like, this doesn't feel like the successor to Inquisition.
Nope.
And I think that's really shitty.
Like, I truly would have preferred no closure versus this. I would have preferred it. Like, and to people who love it, that's great for you. I wish I could be you. And like, well, up to a point. Yeah, the Soul of Ellens, bro. Like, listen, real talk. I'm glad that you like the ending, but why? That's not what we deserve after 10 years. And yes, I'm coming at you a little bit because, like, I'm glad that you liked it, but like, I want you to sit with that for a little bit as to why you liked it and like actually say why you did, because we didn't get anything out of it whatsoever. And I'm mad. Like I was there from right out the gate, always making fun of the Solas haters, right? And I was defending him to my last breath, the hill that I will die on, especially after Trespasser. I was clawing at my screen. I was fucked up. I was down bad. I wanted that shit.
I have been making fun of her for this choice, and she
Since
has
we met.
since we met, and she has stood firm in her love for Solas.
And I regularly defend. He was my apostate hobo. Let me tell you, I miss apostate hobo because that's not who we got.
Fanfics will write it better. Anyway, thank you for being here with us for our cathartic talk. We welcome your comments when you watch this on YouTube. Yo, debate. If you listen, I would love to hear from Solarmancers. I mean, Pixel will be more forgiving of you than I, because I'm just like, I don't understand why y'all liked him from Jump Street.
No,
So I was like, y'all.
So like, well, to a point, because like in Inquisition, when we apostate hobo Solas, the one that we got to know, yes, I will defend him. That is the hill I will die on. Whatever the fuck this was in Veilguard, no. So, Solasmancers, I'm between letting you like what you like, but also go to therapy.
This is not the toxic that we want. We want a different kind of toxic.
Not the toxic that we want. This is very pick me kind of thing to your incel boyfriend. That's what this is giving, and that is not who I liked so much in Inquisition.
Y'all, the toxic is I love you so much that I will rip down this veil if your life is in danger. Not I love myself so much that I'm gonna like y'all got it backwards. If you are disappointed in this game, please tell BioWare to do better. Shout out to Larian Studios for being an incredible studio who knows who their fan base is. Please understand who your fan base is and make games for them. Marketing says you don't make things for everyone. You pick who your audience is, you make things for them, and then when other people also love it, that's great. Okay? Can we start doing that? All right. Shout out to all the voice actors right now who are currently on strike because of bullshit happening in the video game industry. I know it's been a rough year for video games, so shout out to all the devs. Like, listen, like devs, my beef is like, I don't know why these choices were made, but I respect how hard it is for y'all to work, and I would never drive you off Twitter. I'm just really disappointed and sad that this is what we got, and I wish you had 2 more years to make the game that I hope you wanted. Maybe you didn't want it, and that means me and you just got to break up.
And I hope, you know what, as soon as your NDA is up, I want to have a very honest conversation. Like, can you just be on like some kind of interview or podcast and really talk openly and honestly about this? Like, as soon as your NDA is up, can we just do that? Like, holy shit, explain yourselves, holy fuck.
I don't understand these choices. I really don't. And right now, a lot of the explanations that are coming out are not great. They're not great.
They're not good.
They don't make a lot of sense.
What was that crossroad fucking? You know.
Oh yeah, that crossroad. Like they're not. You guys, it just feels like you're doing damage control right now, and at this point, like, just don't.
I cannot believe that motherfucker said, you know, what's the difference between, you know, being peaceful and then being attacked and what peaceful when? The Canary were rampaging through the crossroads during Inquisition. You just don't know, or you didn't have time, or you didn't think about it, which is fine. We just want an actual honest answer, bro. Like, people who are fans of Dragon Age know this universe really well.
Anyway, I'm going to go back and play Inquisition at some point, but first I'm going to go play Baldur's Gate 3 and romance Lae'zel and make her soft mommy instead of mean mommy. And then I'll play again in Romance Karlach, and then eventually I'll let the vampire do me in a cemetery.
It's hot.
Yeah. But yeah, shout out to all the voice actors who are still on strike. Fuck AI. Fuck all these video game companies that will not give the voice actors what they want. Please support the strike. Support your local unions. That's really fucking important. Support game devs. Guys, I know we are all very passionate about video games, but don't be mean. Learn how to have a debate with somebody without being an asshole. Okay? Like, I feel like us Dragon Age fans, we can argue like we at Thanksgiving table. you know, and it's family time, and then we can go outside and we can fight in the front yard about some shit, you know, like that's fine. But don't be mean to these devs, okay? They have worked really fucking hard on this game. Regardless how I feel about it, I want to respect that. I want to respect all the voice actors who did incredible work on this. I know y'all tried real hard. I know y'all did. I know y'all did your fucking best. I believe that. We just have questions, and we got some. I can still be disappointed, and if you know, if this is how BioWare is gonna, like, I don't imagine that this is how BioWare wants to be. I don't imagine that you don't want to tell stories that interconnect, but maybe you don't. And if that's the case, though, just tell me up front. Like, don't tell, like, you know, like when we came into Veilguard, there was an expectation. For me, for Hannah, and I think for a lot of other fans, you did not meet that expectation, and that is on you. You can't deliver Inquisition and then take away from that so spectacularly. You can't build up a universe and then not connect it when you are a video game company that tells interconnecting stories. Like, you can't do that. Now, you're going to get a lot of leeway with Mass Effect because it's pretty much a blank slate. You can do whatever the fuck you want. But now I'm going into these games like, I'm not buying it day one. I'm going to wait for it to be on sale. I'm going to catch it on, like I did with this. Like, I signed up for EA Play to try it out because something told me, a little voice told me, don't buy it. Rent it.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm going to do with Mass Effect. I'm not going to buy it. I'm going to rent it. And I'll end up paying like a little bit more in the end, and that's good for you, right? But I'm not going to buy it. I'm going to rent that shit. And I'm going to see what we got going on. And then when the next one comes out after that, I'm going to be real. I'm going to feel some kind of way. Unless you just come out and say, like, have an identity. What do you want your identity to be? Who is BioWare now? Because I don't know. I have no idea who the fuck BioWare is anymore.
I don't know.
And I want to know. Right. And see, and that's what makes this also so fucking annoying in this climate, right? Because I would like to go and watch some videos to find my people who probably sit at my table too. But now I gotta wade through incel bullshit, right? Because half the videos that are trashing Dragon Age are just mad because, motherfucker, you secretly gay and you just want to be gay and you mad about it. Just be gay. Like, I ain't got time for all that. Like, that's why this client sucks. So I feel bad for us as a community as well that we can't have nuanced conversations without some motherfucker thinking he can come sit it. Like, no, bitch, we're talking about interconnecting stories. We're talking about romance scenes we didn't get. We're talking about lore that doesn't make any sense. We're talking about characters that are not well written, but not because of fucking wokeness, because it has nothing to do with that. Like, these are words that are not in our vocabulary. Like, that's not our beef with this game. Shut the fuck up. I love how gay this game is. Be gay. I love that I can romance everybody. That's amazing. That, you know, that's not our problem. So I gotta wade through because you're a fucking asshole who needs to go to therapy. I gotta wade through that shit to find people who are giving this game like honest critiques. And that's annoying. Right. Anyway, I am also a storyteller, and so is Pixel. Go check out our work at talesoftheforgotten.com. We make audio dramas, and then soon we'll be making animation, TVs, and movies, and we're going to make a video game one day, too. And then you can, and I promise you, we will always know who the fuck we are, and I know exactly who my audience is. My audience are the bear fuckers. So I will be making game for bear fuckers. That's who I'm making video games for. I know who my fucking audience is. It'll be gay as shit and woke as shit, and they'll have all the little aspects of video games that I love, and I'll take my time with it. But anyway, check out talesoftheforgotten.com if you want to learn more about me and my projects. Go to crystalimagination.com. You can hang out with us with the Discord. If you're watching this on Twitch, there's a little link where you can come hang out with us on Discord, and then you can tell us all about your Dragon Age theories and how you feel about it. There'll be a link in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. And then please follow Hannah over on Blue Sky. Where you at, babe? Tell everybody.
I am Luckiest Pixel literally everywhere on Twitter, Blue Sky, Discord, YouTube. I think that's it. I'm a depressed Dragon Age fan, but I'm also a language nerd. Currently English, aspiring to become a polyglot, trying to do that. It's great. I like making stories. I would totally make like an audio drama of how I would end Veilguard, I would totally do that because I have many ideas of how I would rewrite the story as like maybe even finale for the Dragon Age verse. Cause stop touching shit.
You know what, babe? You and I are now going to have a discussion about how we can take the story that I have currently written that starts in Inquisition and we can carry it over into Veilguard.
I really want to make because I remember you said, I think today, where I think you read an article and you read it out loud. It was like a choose your own adventure audio drama. And I really want to do that with Veilguard.
We're going to talk. Me and my wife are going to go get French fries now and talk about this. All right. We out, y'all. Bye.
Bye. I'm so depressed.
I know. We're so sad, you guys. Bye.